We're here at the Lackawanna Heritage Valley Authority Trail, and I think one of the highlights of this entire trail is not only the beauty of going through what is natural, but the way that we've taken what is natural and made something like this. The carving that you see behind me was done by Tom Austin on his own time. And Tom, give us the history of how this thing came about. There was an old tree here, obviously, and how did we take an old tree that was going to get torn down and convert it into this Native American coming up out of the river?
Okay, right in the beginning when we were going to put this trail through, it was supposed to come through in a different section. We decided to meander through the trees and not disturb all these trees and cut them down. We came across this one that had been vandalized by someone trying to take it down with a hatchet. Instead of taking it down, I had them cut it off a little bit higher than it is now, and I asked my supervisor if I could do something and do a carving, and he gave me the okay to do it. And this is where I am.
Most people don't say, "Can I do something with this tree?" So it was going to be cut down for safety reasons, because it was people had kind of chopped at it and stuff.
Yeah, that killed.
So you came along to your supervisor and said, "Hey, can you leave a portion of this? I want to come out on my own time and kind of doodle with it."
Yeah.
Is that essentially?
Yes, pretty much.
Essentially what happened.
Pretty much.
So once you came out and said, "Can I begin carving it?" This is what came about. How in the world did you ever choose to make an old tree into what we see here behind me?
Again, I mean, we're thinking about the Heritage Trail and the people that were here before us, and I just want to remind people that we weren't always here. I think that was the best way I could actually describe it.
How long has it taken you to do this so far?
I'm on to it for almost 8 months.
And it looks like you're still doing?
I am doing fine detail work.
Okay.
And we're working on other sculptures on the trail, some different stone ideas, and I'll be getting back to this shortly, and hopefully it'll be done by the time the opening is happening.
And I assume there's going to be some sort of protective covering, shellac or something that will go over it to protect it.
Yeah, it'll be water
elements.
sealed. It'll be water sealed until if somebody vandalizes it, then we'll have to paint it. But until then, I want to keep it as natural as possible.
How long until you expect to be completely done? Any idea?
I would consider the end of June.
End of June, okay. And then when will the trail itself be open? Do you know that?
That's open back and forth. We're still going through that, but I suspect maybe mid-July.
Okay, so this summer, folks will be able to come down here to this trail and see this carving. And then you've also done a number of other stone carvings along the way. I'm looking behind us here. There's an eagle over there.
Yes.
We passed a bear coming down. Some of the carvings up at the amphitheater you did. You're doing all of, any idea how many different carvings you've done in this area?
There are many, and I'm not going to tell you how many there are. You have to come and find them.
Okay, and you're working with a representative from the Seneca Nation, an Iroquois, an individual who we're going to talk to in just a second.
Yes.
A representative from the Seneca Nation who is making sure that what we're doing here, that we're doing as accurate as we possibly can, correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do that next. We're going to talk with an individual who is a representative of the Seneca Nation and is going to tell us a little bit more about the heritage of the Heritage Valley, Lackawanna Heritage Valley Trail, and we'll talk with him in just a second. Well, I'm here with Dr. Jerry Reisinger, who is with the Seneca Nation Sacred, tell me the organization.
Sacred Site Committee.
Sacred Site Committee.
We're involved in protecting trails like this.
Now, this is a tree that I would have walked right by and, to be honest, just thought it was sort of deformed and not even noticed what it was all about. Tell me the history of this. What's the significance of it, and what's the history of this tree right here?
The history of the tree, it's a trail tree, and they were twisted and sculptured, you might say, and to tell a story and to let people know that when they walk this trail, there are certain medicines here, or there's a history to this area. And there were a lot of nations that did trail trees all through the East Coast.
So Native Americans along this trail for hundreds of years,
right.
Native Americans would have come along and taken a tree like, about how old would this tree be?
About 250 years old.
So this is hundreds of years old.
Right.
And this would have been sort of shaped and formed?
Shaped and formed to tell a story for the travelers that came through here.
And do we have any idea what story this tree would have told? Or
we had a trail tree expert come through here and say that it's an indication of medicines that were grown here. Oh, okay. Now the Iroquois Medical Society was very advanced herbal medicine society, and in fact all through northeast Pennsylvania, because of the great spring water that's here, a lot of the medicines were raised for all the nations. And,
what is the, in about 2 minutes or less, what is the history of this area that we're in? what peoples would have been around here, and what's the brief history?
The history is tremendous, because what happened here is how we formed our country. And this trail was a diplomacy trail between the Wyoming Valley, Syracuse, Philadelphia, and it was at the forming of our nations, the 13 colonies, that the Iroquois had many diplomats come through these trails organizing our government leaders, Jefferson, Franklin, and Washington, to follow the Iroquois form of government in uniting 13 colonies and democracy. So that's very unique. We call it a trail of peace and wellness.
Really? Okay.
Because we shared our medicine, we shared our food, and we shared our form of government with the Europeans that came. And we've always wanted to brighten the chain of friendship with these projects.
And let me just say, on behalf of PennDot, I know that you've been working very closely with Tom Austin, who's been doing a lot of the carvings down here. He's been coming down on his own time, and I know that you've been out here on your own time to try to give us some perspective and proper understanding of what's happening here, so that we can recreate some history here and educate the public on what's happening here. So let me just say, on behalf of PennDot, thank you for your input on making sure that we do this in a way that accurately reflects what's taking place here.
You know, I just want to teach you one phrase from Seneca. It's Ganiyoyo Tegawego. It means good mind everywhere.
Ganiego?
Ganiego Tegawego. It means good mind everywhere. And we have all these great minds that have come together to create this project. And so we want to thank PennDot for helping us preserve this great heritage.
Well, I said it in the beginning of the segment. A lot of people, when they think of PennDot, simply think of construction, but this is a really exciting aspect of what we can do to partner with you and Tom on his own time to do some things like this. So thank you very much for your input on this.
The Seneca Nation is very thankful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with Tom Austin, who is our resident carver, who's been working on both the Native American, the tree carving that we just looked at, and also many of the stone carvings here along the trail. Let me emphasize, Tom, I understand two things. One, you're doing all of this on your own time. This is not, you're not on the clock when you're doing this. This is just, you came down here and during your work, you see these things, and then when? During lunch and after? When do you have time to do all this?
Almost every day after work and on the weekends.
So you're coming out here really donating your own time
Yes.
to make sure that this trail is not only beautiful, but is accurately reflecting some of the history of this area. Now here's what your boss, Pat, told me. He says you were out here working and you saw an eagle fly by.
Yeah.
And you saw this stone. So you decided, let's take, what did you even use on this you said, let's make this stone into an eagle. Is that,
Yeah.
is that how it happened?
Yeah.
Okay, that is so incredible to me, because I cannot imagine seeing an eagle flying over and then seeing this rock and saying, hey, how about I take this and I'll just carve it into an eagle. How did you do that? How do you even go about doing something like this?
It's actually the stone itself. I actually look at the different available materials that I have here and see how fast I can actually make something out of it. I can actually see something in the stone. And this actually, you can see, it already had the outline of a bird's head. And I mean, I really didn't have to put much work into this. I mean, this probably took me 4 hours to do. Start off with some chisels, then some diamond grinders.
So I was going to ask, that's what you use, chisels, diamond grinders. What else are you using on
pretty
this?
much that's it.
That's it, okay.
Yeah.
And so you just find a rock and everything that does not look like an eagle's head, you get rid of it.
Just remove it, yeah.
And then you have whatever's left.
Yeah,
okay.
you just keep punching them along.
How about the rest of the stuff up here? This is obviously some sort of table. I see some carvings in this. And folks, let me say, these carvings, I am so excited to open this trail because you have the tree carving that you did, but even as we were walking down here, you'll be walking along and somebody says, do you see the bear coming up out of the bushes there? Do you see the snake's head over here? Do you see this eagle? There are carvings all up and down this that you've done, again, on your own time, lunchtime and after work, and you have made some of these things into some really, really incredible carvings.
Thank you.
What else do we have here? The table, I think, is going to be, what's the significance of the table? Just a spot
the table is just a spot that you come down and rest. I mean, this area right here is very quiet. Like we said, we had available material that was right here, and all we had to do, we had to move them out of the way anyway, so why not place them in a particular way that
is so
actually you can be utilized. I mean,
there's a hole in the top here. What is the significance of that? That wasn't there already, was it?
That's for my umbrella.
Oh, for your umbrella. So the umbrella goes in this old, that is so cool. It really is absolutely incredible. And where will these carvings then go? Are they going to stay here on this table, or will you put them
this actual eagle head, I'm building another one behind it, and that will be placed at the amphitheater on both sides where the planters are.
Okay. And how about the bowl? What is the bowl for? What's the significance of
that? That is an actual Native American medicine bowl.
Oh, it is, okay.
Mortar and pestle.
So that was one, you didn't actually carve that one. That one is one that...
That's carved.
Oh, that is carved as well.
Yes.
Wow. Folks, some incredible stuff here on this trail, and we are so excited to open this. So we're looking at probably the middle of the summer. We'll have the trail open. But come down here and enjoy the natural beauty, but also enjoy some of these carvings, the wood carving, and really a history lesson right here on the trail that we can have. Thanks to you and your volunteering of your time on your own time after work, doing this so that we can enjoy this hopefully for years and years to come.
You're welcome. Thank you.